Jay here with Just Fix It Already Mobile Mechanic Services. Today I will be showing you how to do a oil change on a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now this will apply for models year 2011 through 2018. However, the 2011 to 2015 is the Gen 2 Pentastar. The layout is a little bit different from the 2016 up. But this oil change is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to do a traditional oil change today. Today I'm going to be using this Amazon special oil extractor. Wow. So let's get everything hooked up and let's see how well this works. You will need an air compressor to complete this oil change if you're going to be using the oil extractor. Let's get started. The items you're going to need for this oil change is going to be 6 quarts of 0W20 motor oil, full synthetic, and you are also going to need the Mopar oil filter. Let's get started. Okay, first thing you want to do is locate your components. So here is our oil dipstick tube, and hidden beneath this air hose is going to be our cap for our oil filter housing. This will require a 24mm socket. Now this oil extractor kit came with several tubes. Now I know for this I'm going to need 2 different tubes. I'm going to need our main tube here and then our skinnier extension tube. This is going to go down the oil dipstick tube, and this is the one we're going to use to extract our oil. Okay, so let's pull our dipstick and get this out of the way. The air compressor setup that I'm using is going to be a rigid 6-gallon, 150 PSI air compressor. This will have more than enough power to go ahead and pull that oil out from the engine. And I'm just using some Harbor Freight heavy duty 3/8 air hose. You are more than likely going to need to set your oil extractor on a bucket or chair of some sort, because what I found is that the tubing is just not going to be long enough for it to be on the ground. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my main hose tucked in here. Make sure it goes all the way down because we want an airtight seal, just like so. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our skinny extension tube to our main line. Make sure this goes down as far as it will allow you. Again, you want a nice airtight seal. Now for our next step, we're going to very carefully snake this down our oil dipstick tube. And you want to go down as far as it will let you. You want this to sit at the very bottom of the pan, as far down as it will go. So we've stopped right here, so I am at the bottom of the pan. Next, we are going to set up our air compressor. Our male end is going to go here, and our other end is going to go onto the oil extractor device. This is our final setup. Let's go ahead and turn our air compressor on, and let's see this thing work. Okay, so we've seemed to have extracted about all we're going to be able to get from this device, but we have a problem. This Jeep Grand Cherokee holds 6 liters, and we were only able to pull out 4.5. Darn. So I'm still going to have to go under the vehicle to extract the last of the oil, about 1.5 liters. What a shame. Okay, here I am under the truck since our oil extractor device was not adequate enough, and I still have 1.5 liters of dirty oil at the bottom of this oil pan. I need to manually go ahead and get this oil out. So this will require a 17mm socket. Turn it counterclockwise, go ahead and crack it loose, get your drain bucket ready, and go from there.
Three, two, one! Whoa!
Okay, so update. My oil pan was actually bone dry. So it looks like the oil extractor device did do its job and it did pull everything out of the oil pan. But that means I've been riding around 1.5 liters low on oil. That's a little concerning, but it is nice to know that the oil extractor device worked like a charm. Okay, let's go ahead and change our filter. Like I said earlier, the Gen 2 models, the configuration is a little bit different. Your air intake tube is gonna swoop all the way around and to the back, but it's the same premise. Unhook your air box, unhook your intake air temperature sensor, and disconnect your air intake tube from the throttle body. This is the cap for our oil filter housing. This is going to be a 24mm socket. Now would also be a good time to check your oil filter housing for any leaks, since this engine is notorious for oil filter housing leaks. You have to check it every time. Once you've added your 6 quarts, go ahead and put your cap back on. And you'll want to take a look at the bottom of the car, make sure all your oil has not come out on the ground. And then you can do your final check with your oil dipstick and make sure you are at the proper level. We are spot on. We are good to go. So the final verdict for this Pacico engine oil extractor, I'd rate it a solid 8 out of 10. I can't say that it made for a fast oil change. Altogether, it took about 25 minutes to suck all the oil out of the engine, but it was definitely mess-free and effort-free. The cons, you do have to hook up the air compressor, which is very loud. But if you don't want to get your hands dirty, or maybe you're older or have back issues, this is a good alternative to jumping underneath the car and having to jack the vehicle up and safety things. A solid 8 out of 10. I would recommend this. I found this on Amazon for about $80. I'd give it the Just Fix It Already stamp of approval. Go get you one. Jay out.